Hey guys, today I'm filming my October favorites and product updates for 2018, and I have a ton of things to update you guys on, but my first update is going to be a little life update. I mentioned it in a couple videos, but I did want to let you guys know that I did finally get a job, which I am so excited about. Unfortunately, it is not a counseling job like I was hoping, but it is in a related field, and it's definitely something great to be doing in the meantime, to be bringing in some money into our household, which feels amazing to be finally contributing. And also it's just more good experience for working with clients in general. So I am a case manager at a family homeless shelter. So we do have an actual shelter where clients live, and that is where our offices are as well. And we meet with clients once a week, but they live there. We see them on a daily basis and usually talk with them on a daily basis, but we have official meetings every week, and we are helping them with finding a job, finding a stable place to live, and also getting them connected with some other services and government resources and whatnot. But of course, because it is a residential place, we do also have a lot of interpersonal conflicts between the residents, which can be a lot to handle. I've been working there for about 3 weeks. This job is just brand new territory for me because I haven't had all of the experience in looking into Section 8 housing and trying to search Craigslist for a place to live instead of places like Zillow, because of what clients can afford, especially in the area where I work is in a very, very, very expensive county for anyone. So if you don't have any savings and you're just starting to bring in an income, it can be really, really impossible to afford living in that area. So I have been learning so much, which is really fantastic. I think it's going to help me be more aware as a person. But this week in particular has been especially challenging, with a lot of different interpersonal conflicts happening between the clients. It's been a lot this week. It has felt extremely exhausting. I come home and just like want to go to sleep right away. I have got so many videos that I have filmed but I haven't edited yet, and videos I want to film but I'm feeling too exhausted. So I think it's just new territory for me, and hopefully I'll get more comfortable and just more knowledgeable about the whole process. But it is something that I am quite enjoying. There are just some days that are pretty challenging. So I just wanted to let you guys know what is going on with me work-wise. But now let's get into the makeup. So my first favorite is the Natasha Denona Mini Lila palette. I will be having a review come up very, very soon for this product. I am so fortunate because my friend Jean let me use her account during the Sephora appreciation sale a couple months ago. So this palette is normally $25, but with the 20% off discount, it's only 20 bucks, which is a lot easier to swallow considering how tiny these shadows are. It's really hard to see on camera how small they are, but in person, you're kind of like, what the heck? And these shades are very pretty. So these two up here I can honestly do without because they're basic and neutral, but these three here are amazing. I did create a look using these three shades, and I featured it in one of my Project Pan updates, so I'll have that video linked in the card so you can see how it looked. But this shade right here is amazing. I honestly thought this was gonna be more of like a flaky, sheer, glittery top coat, but this is a very, very pigmented eyeshadow. Isn't that insane? Look how rich that blue is, and you can see all of those pinky purple reflex as well. I am so blown away by this eyeshadow. It looked amazing. And then these two mattes right here I think are beautiful as well. This one's more purpley and this one's more of like a red wine color. I do have other things similar, but nothing exactly like those. So as you guys know, I don't tend to wear really dark eye looks. My eyes are already kind of small and squinty, so really dark shades in the lid can make my eyes look very small. But I absolutely fell in love with this eye look. I think this blue is just so bright, and with the pinky purple reflect in it, I think it doesn't make my eyes look too small, and I just fell in love with that eye look. And yes, for me, that one eye look justifies the price of this palette because it was so unique and beautiful for me. But I will talk more about this palette in my review coming up next. So I did use some of the ColourPop Super Shock shadows that were from my monthly makeup basket this month. I'm wearing DGAF on my lids today, but the one I really fell in love with was Thirsty Girl. So I've had this for a little bit, but I don't think I've ever really worn this one. And this is a metallic finish. It is a beautiful, deeper, dirtier bronze with some beautiful gold reflect. And again, this is a little deeper than I would tend to go on the lid, but because of that gold reflect, it didn't look too dark. I absolutely loved the way that this looked. I'm so happy that I have this one in my collection. It was limited edition, but they have brought this back a few times, and I will link the video where I was wearing this shade so you can see how it looked, but definitely love this one. And you guys know I love my Super Shock shadows in general. So next is a blush favorite. This is the Tarte Amazonian Clay Blush in Captivating. I was able to get this for free with a Tarte purchase because I was a platinum member around the time they had the 21 Days of Beauty, which was such a good deal. This is an amazing peach. It's bright and muted at the same time, and I think that this performs really well. So I have Tarte Exposed, but it is one of the oldest blushes in my collection. I know that the packaging has changed slightly since then, so I'm not sure if they've reformulated it as well, because this one was a lot easier to pick up on a brush. I didn't have to dig in it like I have to dig in Exposed, and I'm really happy I have this in my collection. It's a beautiful shade, and it was really easy to work with. And then I have 5 nail polishes from KL Polish, and that is Kathleen Light's nail polish brand. She makes some of my favorite polishes. I do think that they are a pretty fair price, and I love the formula. So this is what the bottle looks like. It is just a classic square packaging, says KL Polish on it. I think it is very, very classic, which I love. And the formula of her polishes are a little on the thick side, which I like much better than polishes that are really thin and watery. Also, she does have that wide flat applicator, which I like because you can cover more of your nail at once, but for some people they might feel like this is a little too big for their nails. But I like it because I don't feel like I have as many brush strokes as I do with a small brush like Essie's. So I really love her polishes in general, but all 5 of these were brand new colors to me, some that I had had for a while but hadn't used yet, and then I did just buy 2 from her current fall collection. So the one I'm wearing on my nails today is Taurus. This is a beautiful warm brown. I don't really have any other browns in my collection, so I wasn't sure how I would feel about this, but because it does have that beautiful warm undertone, I absolutely love it. Then I have the shade Glowy, which is the perfect warm olive. I have Zoya's Charlie that I bought a few years ago looking for a good olive polish, but that one is more on the cool tone side. It has a lot of gray, and while it's okay, I don't love it. So this is the olive polish of my dreams. The next one I have is Princess Penny, which literally looks like a liquid penny. It is so metallic and stunning, a really beautiful copper polish. And then I do have 2 polishes from her newest fall collection. The first one is Peanut Butter, which is supposed to be a lighter version of Caramello, and I definitely agree. It has less yellow, more of that peanut buttery warm tan, but it does have a little mustard in there as well. This definitely looks more mustardy on my nails, but it does still have that tan. And then we have KL Polish Medusa, and this one was a little thinner. It did take 3 coats, but I didn't mind. It was super easy to apply. So this is a polish that is greeny gold, and it does have some flashes of teal. So you can see here it looks green gold, but around the edges it looks like this deep teal color. And when I wear it on my nails, it looks green gold until I start moving them around, and then you can see a little bit of that teal. It's a really, really different color for me, but something that is really, really pretty and I absolutely love. So I would recommend all of these polishes to you, and I would recommend her formula in general. Those are all of my beauty favorites. And now onto the product updates. The first thing I have would be the e.l.f. Makeup Removing Cleansing Cloth. So I've seen a ton of people mention these as amazing makeup wipes to remove swatches. And to me, I felt like that was extra bougie to buy makeup wipes just for swatches. Now, even though these are affordable, I just was like, that's not necessary. Because usually I don't swatch a ton, and I'll just use a paper towel and some cleansing oil to get rid of it. it, but sometimes if I'm swatching a whole palette, it's really just easier to use a makeup wipe, and my Neutrogena ones are pretty pricey and I don't want to use those for swatches, so I picked up the e.l.f. And I had just gotten the Huda Beauty Emerald Obsessions and Amethyst Obsessions palettes, and I was trying each of those shimmers on my lids. I would apply it, wipe it off, apply it, wipe it off, and I do not have sensitive skin at all, but using these makeup wipes because they're so fragrant. Honestly, this smells like a Clorox wipe. It literally feels like I just took a Clorox wipe out of my bathroom instead of a makeup wipe. My eyes felt so sore and raw afterwards, and these are very, very moist. It wasn't because I was rubbing so hard that they felt sore. It is just something about this fragrance incredibly irritated my skin. So I do not at all recommend those for removing your makeup, but they do work really, really well for removing swatches, and that is the reason I purchased them, but I wanted to try them on my face as well. Absolutely not. Only good for swatches. So I did want to put that warning out there for you guys. Maybe you've tried them and you like them, but my skin is not sensitive, but they were to those. Next, I have some products that I received from Influencer. I talked about these on my Instagram. I mentioned them in a haul video, but I wanted to give you guys my thoughts now. I was going to do a whole video, but honestly, I just didn't feel like it. I tried to film it several times and just was like, nah. So I figured I would just talk about them here. So the first thing is the Rimmel Wonderfully Real Mascara in Extreme Black. So it's this really pretty pink metallic tube. And this is what the brush looks like. This is a super wet formula like every Rimmel mascara I've ever tried, and this does have a plastic bristle brush. So this is very good at combing out your lashes, making them long, and because this is such a wet liquidy formula, it actually does give some good volume. However, it can look clumpy and it takes a while to dry down. So I do like this, but it's just okay. I do prefer the Rimmel Lash Accelerator mascara, and I do prefer other Maybelline mascaras I've tried, and I love wet formulas, but with all of the Rimmel mascaras I've used, I feel like you need to have this open for like a month to let it dry out before you start using it. So that's what I'm gonna do. I do not recommend buying this one because it is such a mess to work with. The other thing I had gotten from Influencer and Rimmel was the Magnif'eyes Spice Edition palette, which looks very, very, very similar to the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. I did do swatches of every single shade in comparison on my Instagram. I will insert those pictures here. So because I didn't want to do a whole video just comparing these products because I have done Instagram pictures, I thought I would just give you the nitty-gritty information on these. So let me show you the two palettes side by side. Obviously this one is the Naked Heat and this is the Rimmel palette. So all of these shades are identical with the exception of 3. So as you can see, the lightest shade in this palette here is a satin finish and it's more of a cream. In the Rimmel palette, it is more of a shimmery finish and it is a white. Then this third shade right here in the Naked Heat palette is a matte. In the Rimmel palette, it is a shimmer, which I think is nice to throw in another shimmer because so many of these matte shades are really similar. Even though I absolutely love mattes, I do actually really like the Rimmel a little bit better because it is another shimmer shade. And then right up here, this purple, as you can see in the Urban Decay palette, it is still purple, but it is a lot dustier and deeper. And the one in the Rimmel palette is brighter. But as you can see, all the rest of them are basically identical in shade. And this was my first time trying Rimmel eyeshadows, but I honestly had pretty low expectations. These are amazing. They were all very pigmented, very easy to blend out. I think it actually performs, honestly, it actually performs just as well as the Urban Decay Naked Heat. If I did not already have the Urban Decay palette, I would keep this one for sure. And if you're interested in these shades and you don't have either, I 100% wholeheartedly recommend the Rimmel over it. This is a very inexpensive palette, great quality, and I actually like the different shades in here. So this shimmery white I probably won't use, but the one in the Naked Heat palette is a weird color for my skin tone anyway. I do love that this one is a shimmer, and I do like that this purple is more purple, and the rest of them spot on. So highly, highly recommend this palette if you're interested in these. these kind of shades, and I would definitely be interested in trying other shades from the Rimmel palettes. So this is the lightest shade in the Urban Decay palette and the lightest shade in the Rimmel palette. Obviously this one's more of a light cream color and this one is a shimmery white. Here is the Urban Decay and here is the Rimmel. Then here is the third shade in the palette. This is the Urban Decay and this is the Rimmel. As I said, this in the Rimmel is a shimmer shade. So here's a swatch of the Urban Decay color and this is the Rimmel. It definitely has a lot more of a shine to it, but the shades are similar in tone. And then you have the two purples. So this is from the Urban Decay palette. This is from the Rimmel palette. Both of these are matte, but the Rimmel is a lot brighter while Urban Decay is a lot deeper and it has more brown mixed in, so it doesn't look as purple. So that is the Urban Decay and that is the Rimmel. So all of the rest of my product updates were products from my first impression and follow-up, which I will have linked in the cards in case you want to see me apply all these products. So starting with all of the Too Faced complexion products, the first was the Hangover RX Face Primer, and this is a nice basic primer. It was quite hydrating, but it didn't do anything else for the skin. It did have that nice light scent. I have a ton of deluxe size samples of this that I think will be okay to try, but I don't see myself really loving this. But of course that probably has more to do with my skin type. If you do have more of a dry normal skin type, you might really enjoy that. Then I had the Too Faced Born This Way foundation in the shade Snow. My perfect shade would be Swan, which is very fair and yellow tone. This foundation is amazing. It truly does give a medium to full coverage. It has a glowy finish, but this breaks down on me really badly by the end of the day because I'm just way too oily for it. But this looks amazing on the skin. I wish that I had a dry skin type so that I could use this foundation. So this is going to be like my #1 recommendation for anybody out there with a dry normal skin type that wants medium to full coverage and likes a glowy finish. This would be amazing for you. I want this to work my skin so bad because it was so incredible, but I still feel really happy I got to try it out. Then I had the Too Faced Born This Way powder. This definitely has more of a yellow tint to it, which I think is nice. I've been using this every single day for the past month with a damp sponge to set my face, and I think it looks flawless. So I do love this one, but I prefer the Peach Perfect powder because that one keeps me matte. So then I had tried the Pixi Glowy Gossamer duos. I have Subtle Sunrise and Delicate Dew. I did use Subtle Sunrise in the video. I will show you these close up. So this is more of a champagne-y shade and this is more of like a peachy bronze color. So it's really just the lighter shade that works for me. So here what these two look like. This is so insanely reflective and intense, and these are so smooth. You would think they were a cream, but they are a true powder. So here is the Subtle Sunrise, the lighter shade, the darker shade. Obviously the darker shade is too dark for me, but I love the lighter shade. It looks so insanely beautiful on the cheeks, and it doesn't have that powdery look. It really blends into the skin nicely, which I really enjoy. And then I do have Delicate Dew, which is more of a lighter pink tone, and this one is more of like a true bronzy shade, where this one is a little bit more peachy. So again, it's really only the lighter shade that I can wear. I wish I could take the lighter shades from both of them and put them together. So that's the lighter shade, that's the darker shade. Gosh, that is really, really pretty. Look how insane. Oh my gosh, these are so insanely metallic. Yeah, that one's even darker than the darker shade in the other palette. So beautiful if I'm wanting more of a pinky tone highlight. I am so impressed with Pixi that they came up with this really cool, unique formula. You can buy these at Target, and I highly, highly recommend you guys check them out because the formula is so incredible and unique, and the shades are really beautiful as well. Next, I tried the Anastasia Brow Definer Pencil. Mine is in the shade Taupe. So this is one of those thicker angled brow pencils, and in my video I put this on one brow and my Benefit Goof Proof on the other, and this one was more pigmented SuperStay, which really surprised me. I have been using this quite a bit and I do really enjoy it. I still don't know if I like this one or the Goof Proof better, and of course when I've been using this, I'm using it with my full brow routine where I have a brow powder, brow gel. So I do really enjoy this and I am going to keep it and use it up. What I love about these thick angled brow pencils is that they do take a while to go through, so you do get your money's worth more than you would buying a micro pencil from an expensive brand. So I am really happy with this one. Next I have the Tarte Tarteist Pro To Go palette. You have 3 mattes, 3 metallics. I think the mattes are very pigmented. They blend nicely. The metallics have a beautiful sheen, but they look more flat on the eyes. They look really sheeny in the palette in a swatch, but you definitely need a cream base underneath of them to make them show that nice metallic sheen on the lid. I do enjoy the quality of this palette. The colors are very pretty, but I have them a million times over in my collection, so I did decide that I'm going to declutter this to my sister. But if you do like warm tones, this would be a really great go-to palette for quick makeup looks or on the go. A good product, but it's just not necessary for me to keep in my collection. Then I have the Pixi Liquid Fairy Lights. In my video, I used the shade Rose Gold, and in the video, I wore this on one eye and the Stila on the other eye, and I actually think at the end of the day the Pixi looked better because that one looked more reflective, more glittery, and the Stila just looked more like a pigment. Like it looked like I was wearing a shimmer and glow instead of a glitter and glow. So I think I actually like the way that these look better, and they are more inexpensive, and you can use these as a topper or on their own and they look stunning. So I thought that I would show you swatches of all of the colors. So this first one is Crystalline, and this is a shimmery white color, and out of all of them, this one is the most like a glitter topper. It has that beautiful holographic shift to it, but it doesn't have much of a base. Then I have Sunray, which is this really beautiful light yellowy gold color. And this one has a little bit of a base, but it is more of a topper as well. Then I have Rose Gold, which I wore in my video, and this is what Rose Gold looks like. This one does have a pretty decent base pigment to it, but it does also have a lot of that really reflective glitter, which looks so brightening on the lid. Next we have Bare Brilliance, which is more of a taupey shade, and this one has a really nice base pigment and a lot of reflective glitter as well. So it's like the darker the shades go, the more base pigment they have. And the last one is Passion Light, which is a copper with some gold glitter. Then we have Passion Light, and this is a copper with some gold glitter, and this has the most pigmented base out of all of them. So I truly think these are incredible to use as a topper or on their own if you're wanting to spice up an eye look, and they are quite a bit cheaper than the ones that you can get from Stila. So I highly recommend you guys check these out. They are so fun. And the last item from that video was the Ofra liquid lipstick in the shade Dutchess. So I love this color in the tube. It's like a dusty purpley mauve, but here's what it looks like in a swatch. And it even looks lighter than a swatch than it did on my lips. On my lips, it ended up looking so much darker. I think it's when it dries down, it just gets darker, which is what happens with all liquid lipstick, which is always a bummer because I fall in love with a color in the tube. But I do still think that this one is very beautiful. So this is a formula that doesn't dry down completely, but if you let it set for a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, it does get mostly transfer resistant. It is very comfortable, and it is a really pretty shade. So I'm actually really impressed with this formula, and I definitely would try out more shades. So lastly, I have some random favorites, and I just have a couple songs that I've been loving. Whatchamacallit by Ella Mai and Chris Brown is incredible. I think Ella Mai has such an amazing voice, and that song is very catchy. Caramel by Lloyd. He is another man who has like such a seductive voice. His singing capabilities are incredible. Also, Could Have Been by H.E.R and Bryson, and Big Bank by YG. So I will have all the music videos linked down below if they're available. If not, I will link some kind of lyric video so you guys can hear the songs. But those were all of my favorites for October. I would love to know your beauty and random favorites for this month, as well as your thoughts on all the products I mentioned here today. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.